Hey there, and thanks for checking in with us here on ABC24 Plus. I am Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Hopefully your Monday is off to a good start so far. Hopefully you are staying cool. Today is a weather impact alert day due to that extreme heat we've seen. We hit 100 degrees Sunday. We will likely do it again on Monday and probably even Tuesday as well before we finally get a little bit of relief on the way. Let's talk about that forecast of the weather impact alert. Again, the extreme heat, the big story here, especially for Monday and Tuesday. High temperatures, they're going to be near 100 degrees. So it is going to be some of the hottest weather we've seen so far this year. We had only hit 100 once before Sunday. Sunday was our second 100-degree day of the year. Again, we'll likely do it again for Monday and Tuesday. Heat index over 105, could be near 110, and rain chances overall pretty low. So odds of seeing any good rain to cool you down, it's pretty slim. Here's a look at your 3-day forecast. I do want to show you what we can expect here for the next couple of days. As far as Tuesday goes, it's going to be much of the same. High temperature near 100, heat index 105 to 110. There is a slight chance of some thunderstorms Tuesday. I don't expect a ton of rain, but we'll kind of time that out and talk about what that could look like. Wednesday is a day that we start to see the tide turn a little bit. We're going to have a cold front that comes in on Wednesday. It's not going to bring us any cold weather, but it will bring in a little bit of relief. It brings in a better chance of some thunderstorms Wednesday and then a drop in temperature by Thursday and Friday. As far as Tuesday goes, looking ahead, it is going to be another very hot one. High temperatures around 100 degrees. We'll be at 100 in Memphis, 102 in Tunica, 97 in Dyersburg, 98 in Bolivar and Corinth. We will be mostly sunny. Again, that slight chance of an afternoon shower or two. Overall rain chance is not very high. That means most of us will just be stuck with the heat and the humidity. 108 the heat index for Tuesday afternoon in Memphis, 103 in Dyersburg, 109 in Clarksdale. And of course, that's because of the humidity. The dew point is high, so it's uncomfortably muggy. You notice once we get above about 70, that's when you really start to feel the humidity. It definitely starts to feel more sticky. And so with the dew point that high, that's what's going to make it a lot more humid. So as we roll through summer, I know we've done this song and dance a time or two now, now that we're in toward the middle of August. Summer, we're kind of on the back end of it, hopefully. So we know the heat safety tips, but I do just want to remind you with this heat, especially this hot, you have to stay hydrated. Take breaks inside if you have to be outside at all. Drink plenty of water. Even when you think you've already had enough, drink a little more. Your body uses up a lot of that water when it's this hot. Remember your kids and your pets. Do not leave them outside or in the back seat. Triple check that back of that car and make sure they're out as soon as you get out of the car. And also check in on your friends, family, neighbors. Make sure they're okay and make sure they also have a cool place to go. As that front rolls in on Wednesday, it will bring our rain chances up a little bit. I think even Tuesday, there's a slim chance of some pop-up storms. Wednesday's a better chance, and then after that, rain chances come on down. So I don't expect much rain, but if you are going to see any this week, Wednesday is probably your best chance. Let's time it out hour by hour. This is Monday evening. And again, Monday, we did not see much of any rain at all. Mostly dry day. I think Monday night is nice and dry as well. Tuesday morning starts off dry. It's going to be warm already. By 1 o'clock, we'll be around 97 Tuesday afternoon. And then with the heat of the day, as our front is starting to approach, we could see some thunderstorms bubble up. Now, the cold front is kind of like a spark that helps some of these storms to develop. So the closer that front gets to us, again, it'll get here Wednesday, but even with it being a little bit closer Tuesday, it will at least bring in a chance of some pop-up storms. It won't happen everywhere, but Tuesday afternoon and Tuesday evening between lunchtime and dinner time, there could be a couple of pop-up storms. Consider yourself lucky if you do manage to see one of those. Heat index still very high Tuesday, and it's still going to be pretty hot Wednesday. Heat index around 103, but on the flip side of that front, once that front gets through here, that's when we'll see things trend in a better direction. Looking better Thursday, Friday, mid-90s for the heat index. Heat index in the 80s early next week with a second shot of more comfortable air that is going to come in. So there is a little good news here. Let's get to it. For now, high pressure is over us. It's keeping us hot. High pressure is going to start to slide away, though. that allows this front to sneak in. So the front gets to us Wednesday. That's going to bring us an increase in rain chances, a few more pop-up storms for Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe even into Thursday, more of those isolated summer-style pop-ups. It won't rain everywhere, but there will be a couple of pop-up storms for the middle of the week. As that front passes on Thursday, it will bring in some not as hot air. I know it's technically a cold front. It's technically the weather word for it because it is a colder air mass. But in our case, we're talking about low 90s instead of 100. So it will be a difference, but it's just going to be not quite as hot. Saturday, though, we get another front. Now, this one might be a little more noticeable because what it's going to do is bring in lower humidity. So we're going to get a drop in temperature Wednesday and then a drop in humidity Saturday into Sunday. And that is going to make a world of difference. Look at this muggy meter. Very humid Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, even Friday. Our first cold front on Wednesday, it doesn't help the humidity that much. It'll knock the temperature down a little bit, low 90s. Still going to be pretty humid. But by Saturday and Sunday into next week, humidity tumbles. It's going to be very comfortable. Still hot, still warm, let's say, but the humidity being low will make a huge difference through the weekend and into early next week. I do want to get us back out to an update on the hurricane season that we have going on. We do have Hurricane Erin that is out in the Caribbean Sea right now. It made it up to a Category 5 this weekend. As of about lunchtime Monday, it's a Category 4. Winds are 140 miles an hour. It's just to the north and east of Cuba, out there near the Bahamas and everything. We still expect it to make that curve off to sea. Thankfully, that high pressure that I was telling you about that's over Memphis right now, it's almost going to act like a barrier and curve the storm out. If that wasn't there, this could have been a much more serious situation. But we do still expect Erin to curve out to sea. No major landfall expected, but you will be able to see it gets pretty close to the United States, especially the North Carolina Outer Banks, and that's going to be a big storm. Category 3, Category 4 hurricane, even though it's not going to make a direct landfall on the East Coast, it is going to come pretty close. And you'll see that on the spaghetti models here, as we call them. Each line that you'll see, that's a different forecast model. They all have the curve out to sea, which is good, but they do bring it really close to the East Coast. So areas along the Florida East Coast, along the Georgia coast, the Carolinas, even into Virginia and the Delmarva, what they're going to see really more noticeably is an increase in waves and maybe even some dangerous rip currents. Storm expected to stay strong. Water temperatures are very high, so we're talking about mid-80s for the water temperature. That might as well be gasoline for a hurricane. They love that warm water. That's why they are expected to continue to strengthen. So Hurricane Erin going to stay very strong in the Atlantic. And again, what that's going to do, even though it is going to curve out to sea and it's not going to make a direct landfall, it's really going to kick up the waves here. You see the bright colors in the ocean. Those are those high wave heights. So up the Florida coast, Georgia, the Carolinas, we could see a really big increase in the size of these waves through this week, especially by Wednesday and Thursday, and also an increase in rip current activity. With a storm that strong out to sea, it really churns up the ocean. So if you are going to the East Coast through this week, be aware that big waves and a rip current risk going to be present as Hurricane Erin passes by. Here closer to home, again, the big story is the heat. For Monday and Tuesday, we have a weather impact alert day. We give you that just to give you an extra heads up. We highlight the day to let you know that this is a day that's going to impact you. 100 degrees the high Tuesday, heat index closer to 110. There is a slight chance of a couple of thunderstorms Tuesday afternoon. Most areas probably dry. Wednesday is when our front arrives. That's going to spark up an extra chance of some showers and thunderstorms. I still think most of Wednesday's dry, but there will be a storm or two around. High temperature 95. Thursday and Friday, rain chances come back down. Only slight chances for rain Thursday and Friday. Temperatures come down too. Low 90s for the end of the week. A beautiful weekend ahead. Sunshine and low 90s. So it's still going to be hot this weekend, but that's when the humidity will come down. So low 90s with low humidity, that's about as good as it gets this time of year. It looks even better next week. Temperatures drop a little bit more. Highs in the 80s for the first half of next week. So I know it's brutally hot right now, but we're going from 100 today to 88 next Monday. And then it looks like through a good chunk of next week, things might stay in the 80s and feel pretty comfortable. So take care of yourself for the next couple of days. It does look like there's some relief on the way with that drop in temperature and drop in humidity. But at least for the first part of this week, dangerous heat continues. So stay hydrated. If you do need a cooling center or know someone that does, you can find those on our website at ABC24.com. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Trevor Birchett. Stay cool and stay safe.